Administrator Jackson, thank you for talking innovation with ITI.
Happy to.
We've got exciting days ahead around sustainability with you leading the U.S. delegation to Rio Plus 20 in Brazil. Can you tell us a little bit about your goals for Rio Plus 20 and why the American public should be paying attention?
Well, you know, leaving for Rio in just a few days, we've done a lot of preparation to get ready for a conference that'll be meaningful and that will help us frame sustainability issues and the challenges and the opportunities for the next 20 years. One of the things we've really focused on is making sure that the conversation includes all the people who have a real role to play in sustainability. And one thing that's become very clear since the last Rio conference 20 years ago is the private sector and the really important role that sustainability plays there, but more importantly, their role in ensuring that it happens. So we've worked a lot with for-profit companies, but we're working with students, our young people, who are always worried about the next generation because it's them, and we're working with governments at the local and all the way up to the federal level, along with NGOs. And so I think our goals going in are to come out with an event and a series of issues, and of course at the end of the day, programs that we can move forward that include all those parties in making for a more sustainable world.
Great. You mentioned that the last UN Sustainability and Development Conference was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
The world has changed pretty dramatically since 1992, and technology has been a big part of that. Can you share your thoughts on the ways and the role that technology can play in advancing productivity, but also protecting our planet?
Oh, absolutely. You're absolutely right. And, you know, I always say that the history of environmental protection is a history of innovation and technology. So much of what we did even 20 years ago, much less 40 years ago when EPA came to be, has really changed. So that can be something really complex, like how we monitor for air pollution or how we detect new toxins in our environment. But probably the most important thing has been around information technology, the access to information that the average citizen here or abroad now has in terms of their environment or their surroundings. So I think that what we're going to see at Rio is going to be a real emphasis on how to put in the hands of citizens everywhere information they need to ensure that their world is sustainable, that their air quality is getting better, that their economy is growing, that there's the pillars of social inclusion and justice that are so important to the development of a thriving society, if you will. I think that what we're going to see are going to be opportunities for us to take advantage of those technological leaps forward. I always say one of my favorite laws is the community right to know law. Just think about the power that comes from people knowing how to impact their own environment and community for the positive.
So you mentioned empowering communities. The last time you were in Rio, you created quite a buzz in the tech sector with your joint initiative on urban sustainability. Can you say a little bit more about that initiative and how the private sector can be helpful?
Oh, happy to. You know, we're at the point in our planet's history and development where more people live in urban areas than rural areas. That's pretty an amazing statistic, maybe not surprising to those of us in the U.S., but think of all the countries that have been primarily rural for so long. Tremendous opportunities in that statement because it means millions and millions of people being lifted out of poverty with opportunity, but also tremendous challenges. Access to water, access to energy, access to a safe, clean, healthy place to live, what to do with the waste that all those people generate and how to ensure that it's done and treated in a way that allows for growth. That's what the Joint Initiative on Urban Sustainability is about. We joined with my counterpart, the Environment Minister of Brazil, Isabella Teixeira, who's a dear friend and a real leader. But we also joined with the private sector and NGOs to put together a list of policy ideas and projects and financing mechanisms that can help community planners and mayors around the globe envision a different path forward for their city.
If there were one issue that you could impact positively, can you say a little bit about what that is and why?
Oh, sure. Well, you know, in keeping with the theme, I think it has to be around the issues of the future of cities and the people who will live in them as we move forward over the next 20 years. So, as we were talking about, if we can make our urban places, places that are good places to live, but also good for business, preserve our air and water quality at the same time, I think we will have cracked what will probably turn out to be one of the harder issues. That's everything from how to deal with waste. I talk a lot about recycling and waste reuse, how to think about water, and of course, overlaying all that, how to think about energy, how to conserve it, how to do more with less, and how to generate it cleanly and use it efficiently.
Great. Thank you for talking with us today.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.